and that next step is becoming a state of the nation. I don't mind if it's after Greenland or after Canada, finally getting as a state. The main difference is that we voted for, that we want that to happen to the island. And as a matter of fact, more than 35,000 people from the island serves in our military branches defending our nation. So those are important facts. But let's begin with the last election. During the last election, the people of Puerto Rico voted again 58% for statehood. So when I heard people saying that they're defending other causes or they're defending other ideas, let me tell you, statehood got more votes than me as a governor or the resident commissioner or any mayor or any state representative or anyone else. Statehood got more votes than all political parties on the island. So that, for me, is consensus. That, for me, is the direct message of the people of the island that you don't mess with our relationship with the United States, you don't mess with our American citizenship, you don't mess with the desire of the people of the island that want to become a state. So that's the reason many of you receive a package for the visits you're going to be doing. One of them should be the certification of results, the ones that I just spoke about it. Well, you will find statehood, sovereignty and free association, and independence. And this is important because while I was here in Congress, we defended a plebiscite that we wanted to be approved by House and the Senate, and we passed it in the House. And at that time, I was dealing with the negotiations to get something done. Let's go back. We've been filing many bills in Congress prior to my position as a member of Congress. Governor Pierluisi, Governor Fortunio, we all fought the big fight of statehood. And we promoted yes or no bills, we promoted plebiscite with different options, but the last time we agreed, finally, on the options that are real to the United States. And what are those? Independence, which is completely sovereign, separate from the United States. Statehood, which is becoming one of the states. You got 50 examples to do that. And the other one, which is sovereignty, if you want to have an agreement like the Marshall Islands or many other separate countries that are not, you need to become an independent nation in order to get an agreement, a mutual agreement between the United States and that separate country. Those are the real options that the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Department of Justice are willing to grant in writing in public hearings. So saying that you want to add a Commonwealth or a combo with this and that, that's not real. The United States Supreme Court have several decisions saying that there's no a separate status, there's no a separate option. So those claims are claims for 50, 70 years ago. And you need to move forward and be real with the people of the island. So that's the reason we are including that certification. Of course, we want this bill to pass. It passed the House in a bipartisan vote. You got Republicans and Democrats voted for it, but it was not enough time to the Senate to receive it. So what's going to be the next step? In my case, I would prefer a statehood bill, yes or no. Some talk about incorporation bills, and others to go back and file the same bill. But I believe it's to the island to decide that. And that's the reason during the last election, we approved the bill, the same bill that was approved in Congress in the House was the one that was included in the plebiscite. The same narrative, same options, everything equals to the one that it was approved by the United States House of Representatives. And I believe the people of the island are tired of being played by politicians for either side, waiting for something to happen. And that's the reason we organized this summit. That's the reason we organized to bring in more people from across the island and from across the states to do this kind of visits in all official, in all congressional offices. Why? Because statehood is not for the government. Statehood is for the people. Statehood is for the women, for the kids, for the elderly. Statehood is for us to fight. And we are celebrating this year 250 years of the Americas Foundation. And yet, we do have more than 500 years to be discovered. And we celebrate that as well. That change of citizenship in 1898, the Hispanic-American War, allowed the United States to be taking Puerto Rico as a possession. And then in 1900, when it was approved, the Foracle Law to allow a civil government on the island. But then in 1917, the Jones-Shaffer Act was approved in Congress, allowing us, actually yesterday, the 2nd of March, allowing us to have the U.S. citizenship. But that U.S. citizenship comes with a price. A lot of Puerto Ricans did fought in the First World War, the second one, the Gulf. Actually, right now, you got Puerto Rican soldiers wearing the United States of America military uniform, defending our nation and our freedom in the Middle East. And we will continue to do so because we believe in America. And we are yet the best example of what's going to be improving our conditions and our fight for our nation. I was reviewing some of the documents that were discussed in the different panels. And I want to say thank you to all panelists that have come today to bring their perspective on how to fight this and what narratives should be included. Of course, Puerto Rico is indispensable in the national security issues. I think we proved that. We proved that already early this year with the Maduro situation in Venezuela. And I'm so happy that finally the United States got the guts to go there and took away a dictator like Nicolás Maduro. Maduro and his regime was sending drugs from Venezuela, from Colombia to our shores, and from our shores going directly to the mainland United States. We're not talking about the crime, the people that lost their lives in that narco war games in the Caribbean. So I'm happy that finally we're using our uniform to defend American citizens living in the Caribbean. Now our nation is fighting another situation with, a country that has been playing with diplomatics and trying to put in jeopardy the security of the United States. And I support what the President Trump is doing with Iran. Having said that, I believe, and you got the package, you received like Puerto Rico Statehood fact sheet in your package. If you don't have it, ask for the people of PRAFA. You will see there the historical background for statehood on the island. You will see the results of the last 4 plebiscites won by statehood. You will see the national public support for statehood as well, not just on the island, but here in the nation. I'm going to share with you a recent poll. In October of 2024, there's a poll of that 59% of Americans on the mainland support Puerto Rico's admission as a state. And Gallup's most recent poll on the issue also found that 66% of mainland residents favored statehood for Puerto Rico. And this is consistent with the 59% and 65% range for public support they've been recording since 1962. And why I bring those numbers to this discussion? Because some people believe that we're not a state because people believe we're going to be a democratic state, and others believe we're going to become a Republican state. And I believe that's going to be a matter of decision of the people on the island. And the president who brought that star to the flag, I believe, is going to respond with support from the people of the island as well. But Puerto Rico is not different than many other states. Rural areas are more conservative. Urban areas are more liberal. And that's a fact. That's a reality. So if you got 4 members of Congress, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that at least 3 of those districts are going to be from rural areas. And then 1 from urban area. So you do the math. The other one is going to be 2 senators. It's going to be well divided. I will tell my example. During the last election, it was openly discussed the issue of statehood. That was one of the issues regarding the election. The second candidate supported independence, was supported by Maduro. And in my case, I asked for a vote for the House, for the Senate, for mayors. We won the House and we won the Senate for 2/3 of the vote. That means an absolute majority in both chambers. And I also won 71 of 78 municipalities on the island. So that means urban areas could be more liberal and rural areas could be more conservative. But I believe that's an issue that all Puerto Ricans will decide at their time. It can be 1-on-1, it can be 2. It will depend on many other issues. But I can tell that if you poll some issues regarding the island, you will see how the island is very conservative in so many ways. Not just religious issues, but also in terms of business, defense, and business and entrepreneurial. I saw somebody already, it's Ileana. I saw Ileana Rosletinen. I want to say thank you and recognize first Hispanic elected to Congress, Hispanic Latina elected to Congress, Congresswoman Ileana Rosletinen. Thank you. I mean, she was a pioneer, she still is. And having her today here is a great opportunity to learn from her. Those are big shoes. I was trying to be her protege while I was here. So I want to say thank you for the good lessons and literally instructing me in many, many other issues. Other thing, I love you, Ileana. Other issue, and she always supported statehood for the island, and she knows better. The third issue, you will find national security and economic contributions. And you just heard about Sebastián Negrón, about what has been done in the island. Many people believe that Puerto Rico is going to be a welfare state, and they're wrong. Why? Our economy, 46% of the economy of the island is manufacturing, medical devices, pharmaceutical, and now aerospace. So that means that almost half of our economy is production. And now, with the initiatives being led by the president regarding reshoring, bringing back manufacturing to American soil, we're doing the same thing back home. Just last year only, with that strategy that we've been promoting and doing, and I know the press may publish whatever they want. They want the conflict, they want the controversy. But we're focusing in results and in numbers. And one of the things that we made during the last year, we actually achieved 17 expansions from companies and manufacturing companies on the island, more than $2.1 billion in investment, and 4,000 new jobs just last year. Those are great numbers. During the last year as well, we saw the construction numbers higher up. Same thing, having the biggest amount of cement being done since being bought on the island since 2009. Same thing with the jobs regarding construction, all-time highest in our island. A very low unemployment rate in comparison with the last 20 years. So those are trackers that can tell you where we are heading. That means that Puerto Rico will provide, actually we received more of that investment than many of the states of the nation. And right now, we're looking forward to have more investment. So far, we managed to have new investment regarding Collins Aerospace on the island, defense, and planes. Many of you are not even aware that all commercial planes that you actually used to get here, some of them got a part that was designed or built in Puerto Rico. Nobody knows about it. Same thing with Tylenol and many other products that are being made on the island. So we better speak about what is being produced on the island besides the good rum and the good coffee. There's a lot of things that are made on the island, and we should be proud of that. In terms of federal funding, we've been upgrading our facilities. You already know about what Norberto Negrón talked about, the importance of the ports, airports, and roads on the island, and how those will help us to achieve better conditions for the future. And one of the issues regarding statehood is actually being under the American flag in the IRS as part of the nation, not a separate country, not a foreign country for some taxation issues, will help us bring more companies to be on the island. I believe the sixth part of the package includes the Puerto Rico veterans and history of military service, I believe it's important just to share that more than 235,000 Puerto Rican soldiers have served and fought in every U.S. military conflict since World War I. That today, there are nearly 80,000 to 100,000 veterans on the island. They fought, but they don't have the same rights under the flag in Puerto Rico. They don't receive the same treatment after coming from the theater of war, and that's something that we need to fix. Statehood will be the perfect medicine, the perfect way to better the island, not just in economic development, but in rights. You get citizenship, but you cannot vote for the president. You get the citizenship, but you cannot elect two senators to fight for you. I was here, and I got a voice, and you know I got a good voice, but it was not enough. It was not enough every time we were going to vote for something that I couldn't vote. What kind of representation is that? And yet, I heard people that love to speak in the floor, but get nothing done. They couldn't even get a tour for the students that were coming today here. If you check all websites for members of Congress, it says that part of the constituent services is providing tours from people visiting the Capitol building. Is one of the works of the resident commissioner and members of Congress. And we asked for some tours for the people that were visiting, like those kids coming from the island, and many of you that were coming from the island. And not even that they can accommodate. So that can tell you we cannot allow that kind of discrimination just because you support statehood, not because you want equality. Services and rights should be the same to all. Having said that, why statehood? There's many reasons. You can talk about women, you can talk about families. Right now, I just came from the Department of Housing, meeting with the Secretary of Housing, talking about the cost of living on the island, talking about how low-income elements are considered, the calculation of those. In the case of Puerto Rico, they're all different. And we need to continue to fight all those small items that make Puerto Rico different. We don't want to be different. We want to have the same rules, the same benchmarks, so we can allow Puerto Rico to prosper. And when you don't have Social Security income, when your income limits for benefits in housing are different, when the Medicaid Advantage are 22% lower than the U.S. Virgin Islands, 45% below of the United States, that mainland, that means that you're being discriminated. Those issues may finish when we become a state. There's a lot to fix with just one option. And I want to say thank you for coming here. Thank you for making this visit, to take your time and allow us to visit many members of Congress. Every 2 years, there's a change in Congress. That means there's a new member coming, and we need to educate those members. If you got questions, let us know to the PRAFA team. The reason we are doing this is not political. There's a law on the island that says that statehood is the public policy of the island of Puerto Rico, and as a governor, I will support it. I will make it happen. I'm not gonna be shy. I'm not gonna be hiding for our responsibility. The people voted for that, and we should respect the vote of the island. When I heard people talking about voting and respecting diversity, let's respect the votes of the people of the island. That's a clear mandate to finalize, to finish this situation that has been crippling, not just the economy, but the dreams and aspirations of many Puerto Ricans. I believe now we're going to have our keynote speaker or the lunch. Keynote speaker first? Okay. I want to say thank you. Again, make any questions do you want. Let's celebrate the 250th anniversary of America during this year, and let's make those visits. I will tell you, while I was here, many members, Republicans and Democrats, supported different bills, but they endorsed the issue of statehood. And when you come here and ask for something, they always say, go to your member's office. It's just one member without a vote. That at this time is not reflecting the will of the island by votes. More people voted for statehood than for me or any elected official on the island. We need to respect that. It's not that I was elected, I don't care if you were elected or not. And we need to have that kind of wisdom and separate the will of the people, even if you don't like it. The people has been voting for that. And you cannot take what you want and not what the people tell you to do. So I want to say thank you for being here. Let's do those meetings and let's add some members. We're going to be filing a bill. And this is important ground process before that bill is filed, so we can have more members support it. So thank you, and God bless you all.